Update. My brother is getting married to my ex and invited me to the wedding. Original post. I, 39 male, have been a caretaker to my brother Justin, 33 male, since he was 10. I was only 16 when our parents died. I had to take care of the household because my brother was still very little. I did everything for him. He was the apple of my eye. I guess I spoiled him a lot. I never dated that much because I was the breadwinner for my brother. That is, until I met Melissa, 35 female, almost 10 years ago. We dated for 2 years. It was great. My brother loved her. One day, I eavesdropped a conversation she was having with her friend. The gist of that conversation was something like her friend was asking about me. Melissa said that she loves me a lot. She loves that I take care of her in every way, but I am pretty average when it comes to the bedroom. Her friend asked her if she was going to talk to me about it or how is she happy, and she told her that her fixture is my brother. She went on to explain how she and Justin have been having an affair for 8 months, and she thinks it is justified because she thinks Justin is better in bed than I am. You can imagine how painful it was for me. I went inside the house pretending I didn't hear a thing. Then I confronted Justin about it. I know how to get him to talk. I pressed this matter after he was denying it, and he eventually broke down and said it was the truth. He didn't say anything because he didn't want to hurt me, that he and Melissa are in love and wanted to get married, but Melissa won't leave me. I was furious. I wanted to beat the heck out of him, but I just told him he is dead to me and left. I also kicked out Melissa, and she stayed with my brother and his roommates. My brother was banging on my door non-stop, that I had to move in with a friend and told everyone to not disclose my location to my brother. His calls and emails were all the same, that he was sorry and he never wanted to hurt me and that he will break up. I stopped the bank account that I had made for him, something like a trust fund that he can access when he is 25. He was not my brother anymore. I went into deep depression. I didn't eat or sleep properly. I would have nightmares of my brother and ex laughing at me that I suck in bed. That if I was good enough, she would have never left me. It got so bad that I once stood in front of a train track because it was too unbearable for me. Luckily, my friend saved me. I do not have much friends, but they were my rock. I stayed with them for a year and went to therapy. I did group sessions. I had a lot of anxiety regarding intimacy, so I didn't date for a long time. My friend encouraged me to try, so I did try once with a one-night stand, but it was bad for both of us. I still go to therapy to this day, but other aspects of my life have improved. I focus more on building new relationships with new people. I went to travel and explore more hobbies. I was living for myself. I'm in a relationship with someone for 3 years now. We are engaged and we are having a kid together. Wendy, 32 female, is a really nice person. She knows all about my insecurities and problems that I've faced because of my brother. She was mature and patient with me, and I was able to trust someone enough to be in a relationship. Now, 2 days ago, I got an invitation in my mail about a wedding. And as the title says, it was from my brother. He has kept tabs on me from afar and invited me to his wedding with none other than Melissa. Looking at their names doesn't hurt that much now. I just feel numb. If it was 8 years ago, I would have a meltdown. I still feel this pain that I cannot be happy for my brother's big day, but my fiancé suggests that we don't go and delete the invite. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I wouldn't have been as strong as you, man. I'm in shock and in a rage of the heartless people who hurt you. I could never imagine how horrible this must have made you feel. There is nothing more I want than to watch them suffer. I have no love or blessing left for him. When my parents died, they told me to look after him, and then when we are adult, we will look after each other. He threw it all away. It doesn't hurt that Melissa cheated. It hurts more that my own brother has cheated me. You fulfilled all the duties your parents ask of you, so you owe them and him nothing. He, however, should have been your #1 backup, and wasn't. He will spend his life posting on another Reddit with a tagline of total piece of trash. Sending you the invite was disordered thinking, likely along the lines of, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be so happy, blah blah blah. But it's designed to hurt. They both were adults and chose a path. You deserve to live a good life. I'm so sorry for what they did to you, especially your own brother. Screwed both of them. They have some nerves sending you an invite. Listen to your fiancé. Don't go. Act like you never even received an invitation. You don't have a brother anymore. You're better off without him in your life. Don't know what he was thinking when sending the invite. Maybe hoping you rekindle and forgive him? But he's a POS and he didn't deserve you. I'm happy that you are happy with your fiancé and your coming child. Congrats to that. Carry on living your life and never let your brother back in. He will never be sorry, especially since he's marrying your cheating ex. He can look from the inside and beg for your forgiveness, but you don't need him. He's marrying a cheater too, and I hope your ex cheats on him, and I'm pretty sure she will in the future. Or maybe she has already and he hasn't found out yet. Either way, throw that invitation away and carry on with your life without him. Now for the update. Hello guys, I was thinking about making an update soon. I know people in Reddit really likes updates, but I delayed it because I have a baby girl now. When I posted this, my fiancé, now wife, was already 8.5 months pregnant. We had an early delivery, and my baby girl Emily is so cute. She is a little bundle of joy for both of us. She's so tiny and cute. She has eyes like mine, and I cannot believe we made something so precious. I spent as much time holding her that my wife gets mad because she thinks I'm going to cuddle her to death. Also, my fiancé and I got married pretty quickly. It was a court marriage. Neither of us wanted a big wedding anyways. We are all fine. Some of you asked me how my brother knew my address. Well, he didn't. He only knew my email, my work email. He probably knows what company I go to, so from there, he tracked down my email and sent an invitation. A few days ago, I get another email from my brother as I have forgotten to block him. I usually don't check my work email because most of them are forwarded in Slack. My brother made a long email where he basically told me he knows I will not come to his wedding, but still wanted me there for his big day. He apologized for what he has done and that he would never forgive himself for doing me wrong. That he knew he shouldn't have slept with Melissa, but did it anyways. Growing up, he had been jealous of me. He was jealous that I am the more capable brother who is just babysitting him. So when Melissa approached him, he felt like he has more importance. He knew he was wrong. He wanted to stop. The day I said he was dead to me, he had a panic attack. He tried his best to contact me, but my friends refused to give up my location. He was begging them. He and Melissa split up for a while, and he was desperate to find me. He hit rock bottom when he heard from a friend of his that I tried to end myself. Even his friends judged him harshly after what he has done. His friends saw me as a big brother too, so they all refused to be at his wedding with Melissa. Melissa and him reconciled 2 years ago. By that time, Melissa was a single mom. She feels guilty about what she has done because the father of her child has cheated on her and left her. She also wanted to meet me and say sorry, and from there they rekindled their romance. Lastly, he said he cannot go through with a wedding, so he called it off and he fought with Melissa and they broke up again. He wants me to be with him in his most important day. He knows I have disowned him, but he is willing to do anything to reconcile, even if it takes him his whole life. That's it. There was a bunch of whining stuff that I ignored, and I just deleted the email. My therapist said forgiveness isn't something that is forced. It comes from subconscious level that we know we can forgive that person. And it should be an option only when someone shows that they are sorry for their actions, and not by their words. But honestly, I don't want to. I know I am being petty and cruel, but I am happy the way my life is, and adding him will cause stress. My wife told me to forget it, that my brother is not guilty at all. And as soon as I forgive him, he would just go back to Melissa. He needs to figure out his life his own. I have babied him enough. Now it is his turn to be an adult. Edit. People are asking me about my brother's life, so I want to clear things out. I do not have any idea what he has been doing with his life. I moved away from my place further from him. I transferred my job too. He must have known my place of work from where he got the email. For 10 years of my life, I pretended he doesn't exist, along with therapy. I treated him like he was someone dead. I don't know what went down with him and Melissa, but from his email, I can paint a picture that they broke up after dating a few years. His friends were unhappy with him dating this woman, and they decided to drop the wedding because of Melissa. My brother told me that he doesn't want to get married unless I am there to support him. That could be anyone, doesn't have to be Melissa. Why Melissa came back, I don't know. Maybe she thought I would accept her like a doormat, but she knows me better than that. I am stubborn when it comes to holding grudges. I didn't know I had an impact on his friends so much. They were good people who would hang out with us. Though they were younger, they treated me like their own brother. I did get apologies from two of his friends who never had a positive male role model after I blocked my brother, but I don't have any contact with them. Well, Opie, your brother is facing the consequences for his actions harshly, but every choice we make has a price, and he should have known that when he was meeting your ex behind your back. I don't blame you at all. Melissa got what she deserved. Her ex cheating on her is her karma for having slept with your brother. You've done so much for him, and I think that if he truly regrets what he did to you, he will get back on his own feet without asking for your help. I wonder how he even had the audacity to invite you to the wedding with his now ex, knowing how much both of them hurt you. You were right for not attending. Forgiveness can't be forced. Whenever you think you're ready to forgive him, you will. If not, then not. I don't judge you for not forgiving him. If he truly regretted this, he wouldn't have decided to marry Melissa, the woman who destroyed my life along with my brother. What did he think? That I will forget all the pain and trauma they have caused me? Forgiveness doesn't set you free. It just creates a different trap. Over the years, I have learned forgiveness is a tool made by cowards who just wants to get away with their wrongdoings without facing any consequences. They think having forgiveness removes the toll of guilt they have. True forgiveness is never forced. It is earned. And he still has done nothing to earn that. My wife told me to forget it. My brother is not guilty at all. As soon as I forgive him, he would go back to Melissa. Your wife is smart. He got back with her 2 years ago, knowing their affair was the reason you were hurt, and only canceled the marriage when he realized you won't attend. So the smart bet would be that he'd go back to her as soon as you forgive him. Crappy people think forgiveness means you accepted their wrongdoings. So if you forgive him, you can't be mad at him again for the same mistake, right? I'm glad to have her in my life. One of the red flags I missed with Melissa is that she was immature. She doesn't have EQ, though she's a good student. My wife is opposite. She's very mature and sophisticated. I think most people overlook those qualities and value superficial stuff. Yes, I don't believe that he is guilty if he still chooses Melissa over me. I am not saying to make me his first priority, but he should at least have the decency to not include a woman who broke my heart. What was that old adage? Forgive and forget? It's BS. Forgiveness doesn't have to be verbally reconciling with the offending party. Sometimes people need that just to speak and have the closure. But sometimes you don't. I'd say oftentimes you don't. You can forgive, but just forgive yourself. It sounds like you're doing that and moving on. You don't want toxic people in your life, and that's a good, healthy decision. Yep, I'm too sleep deprived now to think about my brother. He has been calling my friend to know my whereabouts. I don't know if he knows about my baby or not, but he lost the privilege to be any of my future kids' uncle the day he decided to betray me. Last story. My wife cheated on me, and when I confronted her, she just laughed at me. I cheated on my wife 4 years ago, male 38 and female 41. I regret it to this day, and I have never done anything since. We have 2 small children, and when she found out, she moved out. Life was so hard on both of us, and we were miserable. I love my wife more than anything, and losing her was excruciating. After a few months apart, I begged her to come back, and we took it slow, going to therapy and just trying to build our life together back up. She moved back after a year, and everything was back to normal again. We were even stronger, and our relationship grew. We are very happy together. I finally thought our life was perfect again. Then about a week ago, a man showed up at my door. And when I opened, he was confused, then apologized for mixing the days up. I was supposed to fly home with my children the next day. My wife took over and she went back to the guy's car, and they talked for 5 minutes and he drove away. I asked her who he was, and she said he was just a friend. He came to pick her up since I was supposed to be at my parents', but he mixed the days. I was shocked, so I asked her if she was sleeping with him. She was so unbelievably unbothered, looked at me for a moment, and said yes. I was speechless. Are you sleeping with others? Yes. Since when? Since we got back together. She was calm the whole time, talking about it like it was normal. She then asked me why it was okay for me and not for her. And when I said that I never as much as looked at another woman since I cheated, she was surprised at first. Then she laughed at me. She said she just assumed that I did, so she thought if I could, then so could she. I canceled my trip to stay with her at home, but she said that she was sorry. She already made plans. I got very upset and started yelling at her. She said that if I didn't like it, maybe we aren't supposed to be together. Then she said if you start yelling again, I want a divorce. Now for the advice. It's over, my guy. She's checked out the relationship. It is only with you for convenience. You might be upset about how she responded to your cheating with her dishonesty and cheating, but sometimes when you break something, you can't put it back together. This is the hard truth. She didn't even consider canceling her plans with this dude. He means way more to her at this point. Exactly. Well, she should have said a quiet part out loud. He lost her the day she found out he was cheating. Often it's very hard to bring a woman back once they see the relationship differently. And she never came back. He just thought she did. I was once told by a woman that when a woman is done with a relationship, she has put a lot of thought into it. That there is no going back to the way it was. Once that person is shown in a particular light, there are just 0 F's given. For sure, I didn't cry when I filed for divorce or afterward. Those tears had been shed, and I was 100% ready to move on. As someone who got cheated on and tried to work it out, realistically, I despised him since the very moment I found out. It was over then. Not that I didn't truly try, but I never imagined how much it ruins a relationship until I was cheated on. Not that I cheated, but I always thought it was something you can work out. I've known people staying together and seeming happy after one partner cheated, but effort was placed from both sides. It's not true for every relationship though. Sometimes the damage is just too much, that it can't be repaired no matter how much love is actually there. The betrayal and the disrespect just cancels the romantic love out. You can care, but you just checked out without realizing it. Yep, it's one of those bittersweet things you realize when you're in that situation. I too found out that I guess there is something I can't forgive. Not don't want to, I'm just incapable of it. My ex tried. Not her hardest, but she tried to make things right here and there. It didn't matter though. All I saw was red. There was no healing from this. Everything she did that even minorly inconvenienced me or upset me even a little, I just went nuclear on that and was ready to end it over and over again. At any rate, totally agree. Some people like myself are just not cut out to forgive and work on that type of trust breakdown. Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter to get over what happened in the past? Original post. So for some background and context, I, 54 female, have one daughter, Ella, 28 female, with my ex, Dylan, 57 male. Dylan and I amicably divorced when Ella was 4 years old. Few years later, I married my now husband, Jack, 55 male. He was a single dad of 2 kids, Jason, 25 male, and Sophie, 27 female. Jack and I also have a daughter, Bella, 17 female. And this story is about Sophie and Ella. I always thought since they were closer to the age, they would get along really well. And I was right. They were like best friends, and we were really happy in our blended family. When Ella was in college, she met this guy, Brian, 30 male, at a cafe where she worked. They started dating, and I was happy for Ella. Brian even proposed to Ella in front of our whole family, and it was very romantic. Everything was fine until one day, Ella came to our house screaming at Sophie. She claims that Sophie has been sleeping with Brian. I told her she must be joking. Sophie would never do that to her. There was a lot of screaming until Sophie finally said that she and Brian are in love, and this caused even more commotion. We did have an extremely hard conversation with Sophie. She showed her remorse and was very guilty. We then tried to talk to Ella that Sophie was sad and maybe she should forgive her. But Ella was having none of it. She went on to more screaming and bashing all of us that we are abandoning her and picking Sophie. That is not the case, as I tried to make it as peaceful as possible, but Ella didn't want that. When Ella and Brian broke up, he started dating Sophie and got engaged within a year. Sophie wanted Ella to be her bridesmaid, but Ella just said, "over my dead body." I thought it was really cruel of her to say that, and she's being petty by holding on to the past anger. Needless to say, she didn't come to the wedding. Rather, she left the city to live with her father. She didn't contact us much except for Bella. I thought she might need some time to cool off, but I was hurt that she kept us out of her life. We only got some insights from Bella and Jason. She only sends me cards on my birthdays but hardly ever spoke to me. I think it was unfair. One day she came to our place. Sophie and Brian were also there. She gave us an invitation card to her wedding with someone named Ray. I don't know much about him. She didn't even include us in the wedding party. Plus, the venue was a 4-hour drive, and the hotels in that area is expensive. We did agree, but at the last moment Jack got sick, and I had to cancel it. When I told her the reason I cannot come to her wedding, she told me to not bother, that she made the right choice by not including me in her wedding, because she knew I was a bad mom. That really bothered me. I always wanted to be by her side, but the place and time she was getting married was just not compatible for us. That was 2 years ago, and she never contacted us again. Then a few weeks ago, my daughter Bella showed me a post on Instagram that Ella was pregnant. She posed with her stepmother with a caption like, "She will be a good grandmother." I was furious. How can she forget her whole family here? So I called her from Bella's phone wanting an explanation. She replied that since I never bothered to be at her wedding, I don't deserve to be in her kid's life. She said it was not just her wedding. She claims I have never been supportive of her, that I do not care about her. She went on to blabbing that she never felt like she had my support, even when she got cheated on, and I chose my stepdaughter over her. I told her it was not fair for her to hold that against me till now, because it was 6 years ago. She has moved on, and Sophie has moved on as well. She is being petty by holding on to something that happened years ago. So did I do anything wrong? Edit. Look, I did not abandon Ella. I tried to be there for her. When she and Brian broke up, I went to her place to support her almost every day. I just think it is silly to hold on to something that happened years ago. I get that she didn't want to be a bridesmaid, but she could have attended the wedding. I never pressured her. Yes, I was disappointed, but if she politely declined, I would have never thought it was cruel. And I tried my best to attend her wedding. We booked the hotel too. But Jack got really sick. We did apologize and promised to make it up to her in some ways, but she rejected it. Now for the top comments before reading the update. You're the a-hole. What Sophie did to Ella was not petty or inconsequential. You shouldn't have supported and forgiven Sophie so easily after her act of betrayal. You're lucky Ella ever kept in touch with you at all. Was Jack really sick? Or was he bitter about Ella not attending his daughter's wedding, so this was an excuse that Opie came up with to justify not going? Why does a grown man need Opie to stay home with him when he's sick? I'm with you, that is a massive BS. How can you even ask if you're the a-hole here? It's pretty obvious, and your daughter spelled it out for you. And I think calling you an a-hole is putting it kindly. You did choose that cheater's side over your firstborn child's, who was the person hurt in the situation. Then fairly quickly you tell her to get over it? This wasn't some puppy love high school situation. They were engaged to be married, and your a-hole if his stepdaughter slept with her stepsister's fiancé. This is some Jerry Springer / Jeremy Kyle garbage. Then you accept the scumbag who cheated on her into her home and supported his and your stepdaughter's relationship. Your emotionally tone-deaf stepdaughter then asks her to be a bridesmaid at her and her own ex's wedding, which should have been hers in the first place if they weren't such a-holes. And you think you have the right to be offended on her saying over her dead body? Let's say your sister screwed your husband and everyone took her side. How would you react? Your daughter rightfully went low/no contact for her own emotional and mental health, offers you an olive branch to attend her wedding. And your husband gets sick, unspecified kind of sick might I add, which means likely it wasn't life-threatening or requiring hospitalization. You're butthurt of not being involved in the wedding party, so you decide to skip her wedding and olive branch over ego. You find out after years of no contact she is pregnant and think you have a right to be involved after all that? After you've repetitively put everyone else above your own child in every way. You're not only an a-hole, but delusional, and dare I say a narcissist. I hope she sticks to her guns and stays away from you. Kudos to her for knowing she's worth so much more than the BS you're parading. Why is everyone's feelings, including your own, more important than hers? A-hole. I wonder if Opie was the former mistress to her husband. Mostly people who support cheaters are cheaters themselves. And now for the update. Hi guys, this is Bella, 17 female, the half-sister, and I'm writing this update to clear things out. Basically, this whole argument with Ella being pregnant happened 2 months ago, and there have been fights and crying from my mom's part. I tried my best to explain to her that what she did was over the line, and she cannot expect Ella to be okay with it after my mom hurt her. My mom still insists Ella is being unfair, and she thinks every other person would agree with her, lol. So I gave her just that. I've been on Reddit for 3 years, and I have seen how many people tear apart people like mom. So I told her that she should post it anonymously on Reddit. I did help her in the steps to make sure she includes everything, but she still left out some parts. I challenged her that nobody thinks she's right after the nonsense she pulled. It was hilarious to see my mom reacting to the comments. She genuinely thought people would be on her side, lol. She read the comments for 3 hours. You guys even PM'd her, and those were a cherry on top. Seeing how people actually see her, she literally cried her eyes out. Though she's still in denial and keeps saying they don't know anything. Well, she had a breakdown of how cruel some comments and the PMs are. My dad came home and saw mom crying and scolded me for airing our dirty laundry, and my mom demanded I delete it. Instead, I deleted the Reddit app from her phone, but now I'm writing this for you guys. I must say, Reddit did not disappoint. I have been reading all the comments, and they are entertaining. My mom refuses to look at them. She's a lost cause, but I am here to clear things out a bit. I am the observer of my family, so I have observed a lot of things. First of all, my mom didn't cheat with my dad as far as I know, since some of you were suggesting. The divorce with Ella's dad was amicable, but that's what I heard. My mom has this weird obsession with having twins. She always wanted twin girls, but that never happened. Since Sophie and Ella are almost the same age, my mom pretended that they are twins. I think she created this whole fantasy in her mind that Ella and Sophie will do everything together and have a matching life. And though Ella and Sophie never had a bad blood, they were far from being twins. They were like normal people. But my mom still wanted a twin lifestyle for them. Also, just like you guys pointed out, mom is the type of person who is family comes first. She wanted Ella to forgive everything and be okay with Brian and Sophie, so that mom can show it off to people that in our family, we always forgive and forget, no matter how crappy the other person is. And Ella was ruining that Disney musical fantasy for my mom. My dad only cared about his bio daughters. Though he was never mean to Ella and always loved her, blood comes first to him as well. Jason pretty much doesn't care. He and Sophie were not that close. Neither was Ella and him. I'm close with Ella though, and the only reason I showed that Insta post so that I can show mom what Ella's doing as she always asks me about her life. I thought this would bring some form of accountability from her part. But no, as you can see, I was wrong, and I take full responsibility for it. Second thing, mom and dad did berate Sophie about her affair with Brian. Sophie started waterworks, that she will do anything to gain forgiveness from Ella. Sophie even said she will cut off all contact with Brian, but Ella was having none of it. I think my parents got manipulated by the fake waterworks of Sophie. That's why they kept pushing the forgiveness on Ella. And you guys ask what happened to Jack, my dad. Well, he fell down the stairs and hurt his back. I wasn't there because I was a bridesmaid at Ella's wedding, so I was spending the whole week there in her town. Sophie and Brian were not invited. Jason was out of town too. But I still think if mom made an effort, she could have easily made it to the wedding. She did try to say sorry and offered to pay for their honeymoon, but I don't think that is enough. I mean, it was her daughter, for God's sake. Lastly, my mom lied. Sophie and Brian are not a happy couple. Lol. They look like they are in the brink of divorce. My mom still has no idea that Brian cheated on Sophie with a stripper on his bachelor party. And Sophie forgave him because it was his bachelor party, so it doesn't count. I knew that she also cheated on him at her bachelorette party too. I don't have the evidence, but I just know. A month ago, Sophie decided that she would also try for a baby, and I am willing to bet that Brian will skip town when that happens, or he will not be the father. But we shall see. Also, I am sorry for dragging you guys to my family drama. I just wanted Mom to see that she is wrong. She tried to save her behind by replying, but you guys just tripped her a new one. Sorry if you felt deceived that someone else coerced Opie to make a post. So I am being clear once and for all. The first post was made by my mom. This update is being written by me, Bella, the youngest sibling. If you guys have any questions, I will try my best to answer them. Sometimes mothers really are delusional and don't think about the effects their actions have on their daughters. I hope Ella gets her fairy tale life. She deserves it after everything. Sophie and Brian are perfect for one another. Let them be miserable together. The fact that their marriage lasted 5 years is astonishing, but it is now hanging by a thread. If anything, Brian did Ella a favor. I always thought the guy was a bluff. I wonder if the twin life your mother pushed on Sophie and Ella was the reason for Brian and Sophie cheating together. If their lives were supposed to be identical, and Sophie was jealous that Ella is something she didn't, it sort of makes sense, and Brian is total trash for going along with it. I also hope you are okay. Being caught in this weird middle of family drama is hard. If your mom is anything like mine, having a different opinion than her is almost world-ending. Don't let your mom or Sophie bully you into placating them. Wow, so your mother won't take any accountability for her actions, plays the victim, and just straight up lives in a fantasy. Also, someone should tell Sophie that when a man married his mistress, he created a vacancy. I don't think there is a vacancy in the mistress position anymore, lol. But the option is unlimited. I figured your mom out in her first paragraph, as soon as I saw she had 2 daughters named Ella and Bella. I'm sorry, but your mom is straight trash. The stuff that she's put your sister through, just to keep a fake image for people who are probably some miserable, judgy people, is astonishing. Your mom has no clue that Brian cheated on Sophie? You should tell her. It might help her see the type of person Brian is. It may also help her realize she chose liars and cheaters over Ella. Even better, it'll break the everyone else is happy and has moved on fantasy she has in her head. That's part of the reason why she wants Ella to forgive Sophie and Brian so bad too. She thinks everything is peaches and cream. She needs that fantasy broken. I'm also sure that's not the only time he has cheated on Sophie either. I hope Ella's doing well. She deserves the best and more. Has Sophie seen these? To know what Reddit thinks of her and her stepmom? I don't think so. Mom only uses Reddit to see news and political stuff. She doesn't post in her normal profile, so I created this throwaway just for this reason. Sophie doesn't know, and Mom told me to delete the account and post. But I guess I will have more fun with it now. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not attending my sister's wedding after she almost didn't invite me because I'm under 18? My 17 female sister, 24 female, is getting married in the fall. When she and her fiancé started planning things a few weeks ago, they said it was gonna be no kids. I didn't think anything of that at first. I assumed she meant like 13 plus or something like that. But that was weird though, because she never came to me about anything wedding related like she did with the rest of the family. So last week, I asked her if she needed help with anything and asked if she wanted me wearing a specific dress or something like that. She said no. Why would I? As I'm not going. She explained that no kids means no kids, no exceptions. So I'm too young by 3 months to attend. I was really hurt by that and told our parents. They didn't know I wasn't invited, so my dad told her either she lets me come or she's not getting their half of the money. She did invite me, but she made a big show of how she didn't want me there. So I said screw it, don't bother. Since she don't want me there, I won't be. She just shouldn't expect things to go back to normal after this. We used to be really close, and we text a lot even after she moved out. Not anymore though, as I blocked her and everything and I'm not speaking to her. I don't know if our relationship can recover from this, but if we do, it's gonna be up to her to fix it. My parents say I'm overreacting, but this really hurt me. Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. 3 months shy of 18? Nope. Your sister is something else. Let her explain to the whole family why you're not there. You are absolutely not overreacting. I just don't understand why she would do this if you girls actually had a good relationship. Is it just the two of you? Are there any other siblings? If there are, how do they feel about this? Is there a possibility your future brother-in-law doesn't like you? That he could be the reason why she's acting this way? Whatever happens, whether you decide to actually go or not after all her theatrics, keep your head high. You've acted in such a mature way. I hope your parents do not force you into going after all this. Yeah, but the problem now is that Bridezilla can now say, but my sister was invited. She just didn't come because we forgot to put her name on the invite. She'll likely attempt to spin it to avoid looking like a meanie. I accept child-free weddings are a thing, and couples have a right to choose who to attend. But the way this was handled was awful and mean. To not have that discussion and expansion up front. Yeah, nah. Not a-hole for OP. I'd go low contact too. Not a-hole. I understand child-free weddings, but I truly did not understand why she wouldn't invite her sister if you really were that close. She's having the best day of her life, and she is actively telling you you can't be part of it, and can only begrudgingly come because she won't get money if you couldn't? That's selfish and greedy. Is there any reason to consider her fiancé talked her into not making an exception for you? Maybe. He doesn't like me, but he's never come off as controlling or anything. Info. How is your sister reacting to the blocking and cutting contact? I don't really know. My parents say she feels bad, but she hasn't shown up or tried to apologize through them.